In this video, I'm going to be creating a red pastel diptych. And a diptych is two paintings that go well together. In this video, I'm starting with one piece of paper and I'm going to divide it into half eventually. But I'm starting by putting down a really intense red fluid underpainting, and I'm using the whole paper to do this. I have not divided the paper at this point. The materials that I'm using include a sheet of Reeves BFK 175 weight paper, and I'm using some red fluid acrylic paints by Golden and a 3-inch wide brush, and I'm just being very expressive in putting down the underpainting, and I'm trying to get some different values, some light, some dark. So for the dark, I added a little bit of black, and just really putting it down loose, quick, without thinking about it, just really trying to be expressive. And then I go in with some mark making materials, some Stabilo crayons, some Derwent water-soluble charcoals and graphites, and I'm just really putting down some loose mark making throughout the piece while the paper is still wet. At this point, I'm really not thinking very much, just trying to turn off that analytical mind and just create marks wherever I feel that they need to be. And I try to create different kinds of marks, and I don't want marks to be everywhere on the paper. Some places I want a little bit darker. I want some different kinds of marks, jagged marks, fluid marks, organic marks, some straight marks. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put down some Liquitex clear gesso after I have dried the paper, and that is what you see me doing right now in this portion of the video. I'm applying Liquitex clear gesso over all of my dried paint and my mark making, and I will dry that, and then I'll go on to apply my pastels. I use Liquitex clear gesso quite a bit. I really like the texture that it creates, and I like to use a natural bristle brush, cheap brush from the hardware store, because it creates some extra texture, and I like those ridges of brush marks when I am working on a pastel. It really adds to the surface texture of the work. So the beginning stage here is just really fun. Then I go through my pastels and I start choosing some colors based on a color scheme. So here I am going to use a lot of varieties of reds: red violet, red orange, light red, dark red, and then some neutrals, which are going to have, a gray tinge, a bluish green tinge. So I'm really trying to create some harmony with my color choices. And I start really being loose with my pastels. I use the side of the pastel. I very rarely use the tip unless I am wanting to create some marks. Now I have painted right over the tape that I have used to divide these two pieces of paper. So now I have pulled off the tape, and you see that I have two separate paintings now, but they both go together. I could do the same thing with two canvases placed together, two sheets of paper, but this was the easy part, to put down one painting, divide it with tape, and then I will cut both of those paintings apart, and I'll have 2 red paintings that I can frame, and they will be my diptych. So I continue to work on this diptych, and I have divided it in half. The one thing that I really like about working on multiples, working on 2 things at once, 3 things, or 4 things at once, is it allows me to move back and forth between each of them. And it helps also to simplify some of the shapes. And I really like the process of making a mark on one, making another mark in response on the other. And sometimes I like to flip those things upside down and see, do they look better placed differently? Or will I take one and move it to the other side? It's just, how am I going to keep these pieces connected? So now I am putting down some kind of finishing touches with the complementary color of some greens, some neutral greens, even some violets in there, which will go along with the red violet. So, some accent colors, working on the background some more, but really trying to create those different kinds of marks and bringing both of those pieces together. It's just a fun process and a process that I really enjoy, and it translates to pastel as well as acrylic painting.